All right. Hello, you beautiful people. I am so excited to be with you tonight. We are doing a ton of things this month. It is getting, it's great. I'm really working to support you all as much as possible. And it's a busy, busy season, busy time of the month. And that's also why I'm here. Hello, Linda, my love. So here's the thing. I am going to dive in. I really appreciate, as my eye, I feel like something just went in my eye. I really just wanted to say, please take a moment to really honor yourselves. It is something that I speak to often, and the power of celebrating how far we've come, where we are, and the fact that we're taking care of ourselves. Ladies, it is so easy to condemn yourself, to overlook all the good that you do, to all the things that you do for yourself, and to demean the beautiful ways in which you go above and beyond for yourself. And how easy it is for you to make yourself wrong instead of make yourself right. So one of the things that we want to start with in overcoming overeating is making ourselves right instead of making ourselves wrong. Because you know what happens when we make ourselves wrong? What do we want to do? We want to eat. When we feel bad, I always say when we feel bad, we want to do bad things. And by bad things, I mean we want to stay inside instead of being connected. We turn down fun invitations and parties to sit alone and swear that we're not going to eat, and then we stay home to overeat and feel even worse about ourselves. When we overeat, we want to continue to overeat. When we overeat, we say are unkind to ourselves. We say things that are not kind. So I always say when we overeat, when we are unkind, we do bad things, and it attracts in more negativity. So right now, I want you to celebrate you. Give yourself, wrap those arms around you, girl. Give yourself a beautiful hug, and just be like, man, I love me, and I am so happy to be here with me right now, because that's really what you need, okay? Everybody's had a crazy day. How many people just came up and said, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you and all that you do. I appreciate who you are. I appreciate getting to be with you right now, right? That does not happen. It doesn't. So instead, what do we want to do? We need to do it for ourselves. So I'm Melissa Kathryn. I am a holistic nutritionist. I have a background in fitness. I was a fitness trainer and fitness competitor, winning Best Body and International Natural Body Federation. I'm a body intuitive. I have saved my own life from cancer by following my own intuitive guidance, and I teach other women to connect into their bodies, to use it as an instrument to support them in reaching their ideal body weight and optimal health in their lives. And also just having overall guidance for what's right for you and learning how to really hone in and listen to that guidance. I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm an international best-selling author and speaker. I do energy work, among many other things. So that is me, and I specialize in emotional eating, disordered eating, and emotional and mental mastery, mindset mastery, to support you in really, really healing from the inside out, to really give you that outer transformation. We want to start with the inner transformation, and the rest is quite easy. Those are the pieces that we've run from for decades for many of us. And once you do them, life just becomes really, really magical and beautiful. So that is me in a nutshell. If you want to learn more, head on over to melissakathryn.com. I also want to invite you into our complimentary Done with Dieting group. If you are not already a member, please head on over there, answer a few questions, and my team will approve you and add you in. It is not a place for solicitation. It is truly a place for support and for you to be around other incredible women like yourself to help you get from where you are to where you want to be without dieting. So I'm going to dive right in. Tonight, we are going to go fast. So there's a lot that I have to talk about. I was going through my notes for tonight. I'm mixing it up. Last webinar, we did slides, which I know are really helpful. And I also got emails saying, I like seeing you. I like getting your energy. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have my notes and I'm going to go that way. So if at any time I say anything that does not maybe resonate or you have some questions around, by all means, just put that in the chat. Other than that, I'm going to dive right in. And I do want to be conscious of your time on this beautiful Thursday evening, after late afternoon, wherever you are in the world. For many of you that we've got a lot of emails internationally, I'm sorry, everybody in Ireland and Turkey and everywhere that, but you will get the replay. So all you need to do in the future for next week's webinar, just as long as you register, you will get a replay. Next week, we are going through letting go, living more, and having more joy this holiday season. So I'm going to go through a lot of things for releasing control, perfectionism, having a proper plan, a lot of other cool things on just having an awesome time and having your mind right. So make sure to keep an eye out for that email and to be registered so that you do get the replay if you can't make it live, but I'd love for you to be there live. So let's dive in. I am going to head over here. Again, if you have any questions as I'm talking, put them in the chat box. So first and foremost, you are at Overcoming Overeating, how to not overeat this holiday season, okay? I know you might be going like, okay, I got a lot of emails going, I so need this. I so need this. And girl, I get it and I got you. Why do you think I so understand? And I was just saying this to the women in our Weight Loss for Life group last night and to private clients, you know, we talked about the number of holidays. So I want you to think about right now, how many holidays have been impacted by your weight, where your weight was a big factor in the amount of joy you experienced. Meaning, if you were overweight, I have something in my eye. Why do these things always happen to me sometimes when I'm doing these? Meaning, if you were struggling with your weight, or you didn't fit in clothes, or you were worried about judgment of family, or food was constantly on your mind. Was there ever a holiday where you just felt at peace in your body and around food? One. Was there ever a holiday where you just felt at peace in your body and around food? Write in the chat box. Then I want you to think about how many holidays have negatively been impacted, or even I kind of say like they were taken from you. Like the joy was sucked away from them due to the fact that you overate, binged, had put on weight from Halloween till Christmas or whatever, you know, holiday you celebrate, but just being in the holiday season. Or another year where you dissatisfied and found yourself on another diet, right? So this is that time where I want you to get really clear, because this is what we aren't doing anymore. We're not staying in the dieting space. We are saying no to diets and yes to you. No to diets and yes to life, okay? So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna keep going here. So in tonight's masterclass, what we're really gonna be covering is we wanna identify your triggers. So triggers aren't just food triggers, and oftentimes we think that they are, and they're not. And I'm going to share with you what they are. You're going to receive tips to stay slim and to even slim down, instead of add on the pounds this holiday season. What else are we going to do? We're going to learn how to shift your view from where you are currently in your mindset to where you really want to be. This is priceless. You are also going to teach you how to remove self-sabotage and to cure your cravings. This is a lot to cover, which is why I'm going to dive in and talk fast. So here's the thing. Identify your triggers. Triggers aren't just food triggers. Triggers are family. Family, friends, your partner, your kids. All of these can be triggers in your life. Work, stress. What do they do? A trigger is something that triggers you to act on impulse. Write that down. A trigger is something that triggers you to act on impulse. Okay? When we act on impulse, we are not in a rational mind. We are not of rational mind. We are actually, it's like when you're in autopilot, when you're in a different space. Okay? So when we act on impulse, we haven't thought it through, and we are not at all connected with the actual outcome. Instead, we are basically driving off of instant gratification. Impulse is instant gratification. Really understand that. Impulse is Now, sometimes it's instant gratification in a good way. It's an intuitive guidance. Say, yes, jump now, do this, grab your keys, right? But when it comes to food and triggers and things of this nature and what we're talking about tonight, acting off of impulse is doing a hindrance. It's hurting you instead of helping you, right? Because you're actually allowing yourself to be in an autopilot state, which means your mind is operating off of survival. It's operating off of what you've already taught it, as opposed to operating from who you want to be. You're operating from who you already are. Okay, let me say that again. Instead of operating from who you want to be, I'm the person that comes home, I decompress, I don't go straight for the fridge, I de-stress, maybe I go for a walk, then I get in some comfortable clothes, I make dinner, I don't snack while I'm making it, I put my food on a plate, I put my food away, I eat undistracted, I have a nice time, I go and I spend some time with some loved ones, I go to bed early, right? That's who do I want to be versus operating from who I am. I tell myself I'm not going to eat when I walk in the door, but I walk in the door and somehow I'm in the refrigerator and I've already eaten all of this food while standing. And then I'm already frustrated with myself and I'm still standing in the kitchen with my coat on and I end up making dinner and I eat even more. But then I sit down with my family to eat dinner. I'm already overly stuffed and full, beating myself up the whole time I'm eating dinner with my family, telling myself I'm already full, yet I'm the one that's cleaned my plate when I just thought a minute ago that I didn't even need dinner. Now I've cleaned my plate, I'm overly stuffed, and I don't stop there. Then I have something after dinner, after everybody else goes to bed, we put the kids down, I'm now still eating, and then I stay up late to then miss my workout. That's me operating from where I am now. I'm using stories, right? Do you understand the difference though? We've either triggers are causing us to act on impulse of where we are now versus being in a space of where we want to be and operating from who we want to be, okay? So what do we want to do in that space? We want to understand what our triggers are. So the only way for us to overcome our triggers, we need to have a plan around them. So I always say knowing your weaknesses is a strength, because by knowing your strength, you are then able to build a plan, a strategy around your weakness that supports you in overcoming your weakness and actually strengthening that muscle to create it and convert it into a strength. So right now with your journal and a pen, I want you to write down what are some trigger situations for you that you currently experience in your life, whether it's time of day, not getting enough sleep, coming home from work, not meal planning, stress around money, problems with your partner, not liking your job, not having enough support or help with your kids, being a caretaker. What are some of your triggers? Maybe it goes back to the archetypes from my book, Eat Right for Your Archetype, where you're a nurturer, which means you overgive. You take care of everybody else. You're last on the list, right? And you find yourself in a place of resentment because you never get to take care of you. You overextend yourself, right? Not making yourself a priority. So then that overextending, that resentment becomes a trigger. Or maybe you're a rebel, the other archetype. So there's 4 archetypes: a rebel, an avoider, a nurturer, right? And a perfectionist. So maybe you're a rebel and one of your triggers is that you constantly make everything black or white. It's either all or nothing. So then you go to an extreme of you're all in, it's so extremist, and you've restricted yourself so much, or you've created so much on your to-do list that you end up acting out with food and we rebel against ourselves. Or maybe, right, you're the avoider, where you constantly obsess and you tell yourself you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to do this, and you plan all the things that you're going to do, but you never actually do them, which causes you frustration because you don't reach the result because you place such a high expectation on yourself. And then you're stuck and you feel in a space of frustration, which is a trigger, and it causes you to turn to food. Or you're a perfectionist, where nothing you do is ever good enough. So you're always feeling beaten down and nothing ever matches your expectations as well, right? These are all different triggers. So triggers don't just come from foods. Oh, well, I can't have chocolate around, right? I was with my girlfriend last night and she's like, I often just don't buy chocolate because if it's in the house, I'll eat it. That can be a trigger. We're not at food triggers yet. Right now we're at life examples, lifestyle, ways of being. Maybe it's a time of day. I want you to get clear on all of your triggers. And I want you to think specifically around your holiday triggers. What are some of your holiday triggers? Maybe it's your mother-in-law. Maybe it's the fact that you have family food pushers. Maybe it's all of this holidays socializing. Maybe you're too tired, right? Maybe you're not saying no, right? So there's other things that I want you to talk about. So I really want you to think about this. Very, very important. Why do we want to know our triggers? Because when we understand our triggers, again, we can create a plan around them. Awareness is your key to success in overcoming overeating. When we're aware of our patterns, aware of the things that exist in our life that actually derail us instead of helping us stay in alignment, then we can actually take a different course of action. Action is what's going to get you to your result. Thinking about it, not going to get you there. Sitting and living in the past, not going to get you there. Being a victim of circumstance, not going to get you there. Talking about it, not going to get you there. Overanalyzing yourself to death, not going to get you there. What's going to get you there is taking aligned action, which we're going to talk about. So once you've identified your triggers, right? I want you to really understand, once you've identified your triggers, I want you then to write down what are some of your food triggers, right? What are some of your food triggers? So chocolate, maybe there's, for instance, my mom makes this apple cake every Christmas. I actually, at Thanksgiving, had like 3 slices of it. I planned on it. They weren't like huge slices, but I actually had like a legitimate plan. Like I was sitting there and I was like, my mom only makes this apple cake at Thanksgiving. Yes, I could ask her to make it, but it's quite a daunting thing. And it's my favorite. Like I love it, and I love it because it's hers. And every year, like people want pie, different things. I'm not a big Thanksgiving dinner person. It's just not like my jam. I don't know if it's like I'm more pescatarian. So it's just like not my thing. I actually just feel really weighed down even by those foods. So I was like, you know, my dinner was more like some veggies, salads, salmon. My family gets me salmon. And I was sitting there and I was like, I'm literally keeping space that I don't get full so I can have my mom's cake. And I know I'm going to want more than one slice of it. Right. So here's the thing. I also know that if that cake was around for the next 5 days, I would probably want a slice like every day. That's a trigger, right? Because we can also tell ourselves these stories of, oh my God, you're never going to get this cake again. It's only this time of year, right? The dieter in us has a lot of stories, and she's filled with a lot of beautiful, what I call trickery. Her voice will reason with you all the time. I was just talking about this with one of my Weight Loss for Life women today, and we were talking about, she's like, yeah, I talk myself into things. And I was like, yeah, that's the dieter in you. She's like, yeah, in the moment, the voice will say, you need this, like, it's fine, you can start tomorrow, it's not a big deal, it's just this, it's just that. And she's like, but she's doing that every day. So in essence, she's sitting there saying, I want to lose weight, I'm going to weigh myself, I'm going to actually sit here and tell myself that I'm an awful person because I haven't lost more weight, but I'm actually eating to gain weight. And then I'm getting annoyed with myself that I haven't seen weight loss results, but I'm doing everything to actually put weight on, right? So she's sitting there and she's very aware, right? And we were talking about the voice, and that the voice comes in, and again, it's dieter's voice. So I want you to recognize that voice, oh, she's quite cunning. She's the one that will say, no, just have one more bite. Or you can have that bar of chocolate in the house. You're not going to eat it all. Or you'll have just one square. And then you finish the whole thing and you're mad at yourself, right? if you know that it is not something, yes, she is. Yes, Linda. If you know that that's going to be a point of contention for you, then why would you keep it around? I always tell my clients, an alcoholic's not going to sit. You're not going to put an alcoholic in a bar and be like, good luck, sir. You're not going to sit an alcoholic and put a bottle of vodka in front of them and be like, hope you don't drink it. No. And you have to be that extreme with yourself, because if you've been struggling with your weight for more than a year, you don't have a weight issue. You have a relationship with food. And that relationship with food has been your survival. And on a very instinctual level, your body, your mind thinks that you are trying to threaten your survival by taking food away. Really understand this. If you're sitting there going, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm looking at the past holidays. I'm always overeating. I have this thing with binging. I'm compulsive. I just noticed once I fear starting because I won't stop. It is because there is a piece of you that truly believes that that is your protection in life, that that is your survival. Our subconscious mind does not stop forming after the age of 8, which means every one of us here tonight is really an 8-year-old in our minds. And our brains have not really, I hate to say this, but our brains have not aged past that point. That is all the subconscious mind knows. And your mind is set up for survival, meaning it knows that it needs to protect you and keep you safe from harm. And you learn to keep yourself safe through food. You learn to protect yourself through food. You learn that food was your friend. You learn that food was your companion. So the idea of taking food away, yes, for a short time, a diet, you will be able to do that. But to do that for life, you actually have to learn a new way of being. And you have to teach your mind a new set of skills and prove to it through celebrating it, through celebrating that action, that it is the right thing for you, that that is your protection now. Because that little girl within you is petrified. And she knows, your body knows that the answer to any nervousness is food. The answer to any anxiety is food. The answer to any stress is food. The answer to loneliness is food. The answer to celebrating life is food. In order to get over overeating, especially when you're in a family environment or high stress times like the holidays, it's about learning a new way of being. And it continually committing to that each day that you wake up, because we are animals by nature, and your primal instinct is to make sure that you stay alive. And although this might sound crazy to you, this is truly what is going on with you on a physiological level, on a cellular level. Your mind goes, we are in fight or flight, we need food. Oh my God, we're afraid, we need food. Oh my God, I just got my feelings hurt, we need food. I'm stressed out, we need food. I'm procrastinating, we need food. I just need to not feel whatever I'm feeling right now, we need food. It is your safety blanket. And it actually is your safety blanket, meaning the weight on your body is there because you've eaten to keep yourself safe and protected. You have not wanted to feel. You have not wanted to deal with life. Because every time life happens, you're reaching for food. Every time there's a window to think, to breathe, to be with yourself, you're reaching for food, right? Guys, it's nature in our society. Look at us. We are the most highly stimulated culture in the world, right? And everybody listening from another country, yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about, but we've got, you know, I get messages. It's like, didn't you see, I messaged you on Facebook, and I'm like, on Facebook Messenger or in one of my groups? Which group are you talking about? Where did you message me? Oh, wait, I sent you, was it via email? Did you send it on Voxer? Was this through Instagram? Did you respond to my Instagram story, or did you just send me a message through Instagram? Was this message on YouTube? I'm confused. Right? Like there's so many ways. And then there's WhatsApp. Like, I mean, there are so many streams of connection and stimulation. So I also want you to think it's the same thing. We're never really stopping. We're never disconnecting. I'm a proponent of disconnecting. I do it a ton. I factored it into my life. I think people often are like, why aren't you online more? Because literally it steals my joy if I live online all day long, every day and every night. It does not make me a happy person. I thrive on in-person connection and in a different way, or even one-on-one, right? Now, I know this about myself, but I also know this about people. Most people need that. So why am I sharing all of this about overstimulation and other things? What I want you to get is, we as a culture don't like to stop and be with ourselves. Even people that meditate are like, I meditated. It's like, I worked out today, and that's their only movement, right? I always laugh at that. I totally get it, right? I always say it to my other friends that are coaches. We're like, you know, when was the last time you were outside? So it's like your whole day is slammed, and it's like you work out at the crack of dawn, and then at night you'll go and do like a walk or something, but it's so important to get out during the day, right? So I say all of this again to reiterate the point that we are not set up to want to be with ourselves and to actually feel what's going on in the present moment. We do everything to not be present, right? And presence is actually the gift of how to overcome overeating, because when you are present, then you can actually ask yourself, what is going on for me in this moment? Why do I want food right now? I guarantee, and as I tapped into the women that were coming to tonight's webinar here, many of you eat without stopping, meaning your forks very rarely go down. You are snacking just to snack. You graze throughout your day, and it's unnecessary. Your body very rarely has a break, nor do you ever really experience being at a zero, meaning feeling true hunger, okay? So what I teach in our Weight Loss for Life group, it's what does it feel like to really be empty, for your body to need fuel, right? That's different than you just feeding it because you got a tinge of hunger. So we overcome overeating. The other piece to this, recognize when we're still talking about triggers here, that there are real triggers around food scarcity. Notice, I want you to do an experiment with yourself tomorrow and tell yourself you are only going to eat when you're at a zero. And if that's challenging for you to understand what a zero is, because I generally teach this in my groups and we're able to monitor, then just say, I'm only eating 3 meals with no snacks. No snacks. Tomorrow, I want to do an experiment. I want to eat 3 meals. I want you to notice where your mind goes. If you feel your stomach growl, first off, growling, by the way, that is not hunger. That's your body digesting. Hunger, true hunger, is when we start to feel a wane of energy. Even some people can get a headache. Some will just feel really low on energy. A mood will shift. Immense thirst. But growling stomach, it's just digesting. It's going through. You're not hungry. So you'll feel an empty feeling when you're hungry, and you'll know because you'll want real food. You won't want crap. But try that tomorrow. Try 3 meals and see what that feels like. Really see what that feels like. What's up, girls? So see what that feels like, and recognize when your mind goes, let's get a snack. And you tell yourself, no, we're going to wait for our meal, where food scarcity comes in. See if that's something for you. Many women have that, where they have a real fear of being hungry and not having food around, as if we're in a third world country. And I say that, and you might be like, what? But it's true. It's actually an innate fear of like, wait, but what if I get caught somewhere and I don't have food? Like, you're going to faint and die. It's actually proven that we can survive 10 days without any food as long as we have water. Not a lot of water. We don't even need a lot of water either. For 10 days, you can survive completely without food or water. Then after that, 10 days without food, 7 days without food or water. So again, recognize your triggers. Now I want to move on from this. So we want to know, what are your triggers, and we want to create a plan around them. So what I want you to do is identify your triggers from family, triggers, what's up, Shanghai, triggers from family. I'm so happy that you're here, girl. Triggers from family, triggers from life, triggers from work. What triggers? What are your times of day where you feel triggered and go to food, right? And then what I want you to do is recognize what are the patterns of behavior that hurt you instead of serve you. Now, here's the other thing with triggers. When I broke down the 4 archetypes, this is the most important piece. Remove your expectations, especially going into the holidays. Expectations will steal any joy from you, any element of you being proud of yourself, and any sense of presence that you can have in that moment, because you're already placing an expectation. An expectation and intention are two very different things. An intention is, I have a strong desire and I'm open, I'm setting a precedence that this is my desire and I'd like that or something better. An expectation is, this is what I want to happen. This is mentally what I expect, and anything less than my expectation, I will be upset, let down, and angry, right? So oftentimes we have subconscious expectations, and when we feel, or when those expectations aren't met, we place expectations on ourselves, we place expectations on our children, we place expectations on our parents, on other family members, especially on our partners. We place expectations on our work, on our bosses, on our coworkers. Think about the expectations. What expectations do you have on gifts that you're due to receive? What expectations do you have on a bonus that you might get this holiday? What expectations have you placed on yourself for how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to act, where you're supposed to be, what invitations you must say yes to? What expectations have you placed on yourself? Really understand that. And it's time to remove them, because those will trigger you to overeat. Because what I can promise you is this: 90% of the time, the expectations that we have are very rarely met. It doesn't mean that they're not met and exceeded, but 90% of the time they're not met. Because especially if you're a dieter and you're here following me, then you're a perfectionist and you have controlling tendencies, which means nothing's ever good enough. And the expectations that you have on yourself and on others, especially family, what the holidays should look like, how they should go, what people should do, what they should say, what they shouldn't say, how you should look, how everybody should act, is never going to meet what you've placed mentally. So right now, my invitation to you is to let it go. The way to experience true joy is to just say, I'm so excited for what is, and I'll be over the moon for what's to come. I'm so excited for what is, and I'll be over the moon for what's to come. And let it go. Surrender. Surrender is such a beautiful word, and it's probably one of the hardest things to do. I've had to do it so much in my life over the past 2 years with cancer, with being in uncertainty for long periods of time. And I have to also tell you, it was one of the greatest gifts. And I can say that I've almost learned how to master it. And I'm constantly told of the past so many months, just the immense amount of peace, how like my energy's just very different, how much I've released and let go. And it's probably one of the most beautiful gifts I've ever given to myself. And one of the most difficult things that I had to learn to do. And really surrender, just practice it. Letting go of expectations, taking it one day at a time, and being so excited for everything that you experience and for all that is, instead of obsessing over how much of it you wish was different. Talk about stealing your joy. Talk about causing you to overeat. If you're always telling yourself how awful something is, right? How you wished it was different, well, of course you're going to eat. What satisfaction is there in hearing that you're never going to get to where you want to be, or you don't have what it is you really want, and that you're never going to get there? It's like beating yourself down and then expecting yourself to feel good. Who can feel good after that? So the next, when we're going to our next tip, our next point is receive tips to stay slim and to slim down instead of add on. So I'm going to make this quick and I'm going to make this simple. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Girl, you cannot go into this holiday season without a plan. A plan is not expectations. A plan is being smart. A plan is, I intend on working out these days, this time, and I'm going to let everybody know so that it doesn't get compromised. I intend on having foods there at my family's house or in my house that are healthy, that serve me. I intend on having a plan around my holiday meal. and really being in a clear mindset that this is just like any other day, and that every holiday I get to experience wonderful foods. I only eat what's a hell yes, and I put down what's a hell no. I have small portions of everything, and I want to go to bed feeling proud, right? What is next? Prioritize you. Prioritize your desires. It is your holiday. That may sound selfish, but it's the truth. And when you start to understand that you being happy is the gift to everybody, especially those closest to you in your life, the happier they're going to be, the happier you're going to be. And the better off everyone will be, okay? What's next? Plate it, portion it, put it away. Put that on your wrist, have Post-its everywhere, write it, have a reminder come up on your phone. Whatever you need to do, write it on your palm, plate it, portion it, and put it away. Where do people gain the most weight over the holiday season? And snacking. Eating while standing. Standing in the kitchen and eating. Standing and eating out of containers. My family and I do this a ton. We always, and I can still say it's a pattern and a habit that I totally see myself go back to when I'm home, and I always have to remind myself and go in, and this is always one of my plans, plate it, portion, and put it away. Why? Because we grew up, when you go back to where you grew up, or you visit and you're in the home that you grew up in or something, we revert back to the age in which we left last, okay? And we will remember the eating habits and patterns. Our minds, our bodies, we are animals by nature. We have cellular memory, and we will go back, and we can easily, that's why people always go, I started off so strong, I felt good for the first day or two, and then by day 3, I was eating out of this, and I was back doing that, and felt like I was 12 again, and my mom and I, and this, it's again, it's truly scientifically proven. However, what we want to do to combat that is you want to create a new set of rules for yourself. And by rules, I mean ways of being, guys, ways of being, and operating from ways of being of who you want to be versus who you have been. Who you want to be is who you truly are. Who you have been is what you created off of survival. Okay? Who you are is at your core, and that's who's on this webinar right now. That's who wants to show up strong. That's who wants their ideal body. That's who is ready to shed the weight. That's who's done with dieting. That's who's sick and tired of overeating. That's you, love. So we want to act in ways of being that are in alignment with your true self, with who your soul really is. The person that wants to go to bed proud, that only wants to eat until she's full, right? And feels comfortable, that wants the holidays to be around fun and joy and being present instead of food, that doesn't want to obsess over calories and wants to truly love herself and be at one with herself and be at peace with food. That is who you really are. That is why you're here, okay? So don't let any piece of you tell you otherwise. Hear my voice. Let it sit and repeat over and over in your mind until this becomes your truth, okay? So we want to plate it, portion, and put away. You commit to only eat what's on a plate. You sit down and you eat. And if you are not sitting and you're not eating from a plate, then you don't eat it. That is going to save you thousands of calories. You do not walk by a dessert counter and just grab a cookie. You put it on a plate and you sit down with it and you enjoy it. Or you don't eat it. Okay? Really understand this. That's how simple this needs to be. This is not complicated, but you do need to take inspired action and be in alignment with what I'm saying. You do need to follow this and be consistent and committed with what I'm saying. If you go for the holidays and through the holiday season and you get off this webinar tonight and you commit that from December 6th on, you are only going to eat 3 meals a day and only eat what's on a plate and not eat anything else. That means not grabbing any popcorn, not going by and getting peanut M&Ms, not having a candy cane or a peppermint this, not going and getting a mocha frappuccino, blah, 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 blah. Have a regular cup of coffee or a cup of tea, right? something that doesn't have whipped cream and caramel and mocha and anything else in it. We don't want to be drinking all of our calories, and we're not going for the eggnog of this and that. This isn't about not enjoying the holidays, but this is about enjoying what your body needs and letting go of what it doesn't. And that starts with you feeling good and being empowered around food. This doesn't mean you don't enjoy what you eat, but you do not need the portions that you're currently eating. And I know that because all of your guides are coming through telling me this. You are eating more than what you need, and it's actually causing you separation. It's causing you to not feel good in your body and to actually be in a negative state, a negative mood, and to actually be in fear around food instead of being in the fun of the holiday season. Does that make sense? Okay, so really, really understand that. Now, when we're looking at this and when we're talking about food, plate it, portion it, put it away, write it down, stamp it on your forehead, put it everywhere, and make that your mantra. Plate it, portion it, put it away. If you want to write all of these 5 down for how to receive, well, these are our tips to stay slim or to slim down instead of add on this holiday season. Plan, prioritize you, plate it, portion it, and put it away. I'm going to say it again. Plan, have a plan. Fail to plan, plan to fail. Let everybody know your plan. Plan activities. Stay out of the kitchen. Commit to drinking a gallon of water each day. Commit to your 3 meals, and that's it. Make it easy. Plate it, portion it, and put it away. Okay? Plan, prioritize, plate, portion, put away. Now, how do we shift our view? What was I talking about in the copy when I said we're going to shift our view so that this is a priceless mindset trick? Here's what I want you to do. We shift our view from where we are to where we want to be by taking action. It's very, very simple. There is nothing complex to this. We shift our view from getting out of victim and being into the victor of your life. Many of you, honestly, are living in the victim of life's circumstance. You're in victim of, I've always been overweight. You're in victim of, I can't believe this is another year where I'm not at my ideal weight. You're in victim of another diet that I failed. You're in victim of, my life was hard growing up. You're in victim of, I don't like my job or I don't make enough money. You're in victim of, I'm injured or my hormones are all out of whack. Honestly, get clear with yourself around the stories that you give yourself, all of the excuses that you're creating for why it's so hard for you to lose weight, for why you struggle with food. Now, when I say this, I know that you might be sitting there being like, F her. I hate this girl. Why am I on here? If you're having any reactions like that, it's because I'm triggering you. And I'm triggering you on purpose because I actually want you to be in action. I tell people this all the time. It basically probably goes against everything that, honestly, somebody in business for themselves should do. I'm not really tied to you really liking me. It's a wonderful thing if you do. But I really am here because I want you to have what you want. I want you to feel good in your body. I want you to be successful in this venture. I want you to feel empowered around food. I want you to be at peace with food. I want you to feel sexy and hot. I want people to compliment the hell out of you. I want you to actually sit there and go, this was the best damn holiday I ever had because I went to that overcoming overeating and that girl called me out on all my stuff that I haven't allowed myself to really hear. And I saw it and I didn't like her and I didn't like what she said, but you know what? It was true. And now I can actually take action and change. I don't want you to analyze yourself to death because analyzing doesn't give you the result. And many of you, honestly, are so intuitive and already overanalyzing yourself because you really put yourself down instead of loving you up. You are overly self-aware of how you get in your own way. You're so frustrated with it and feeling hopeless around it and even helpless in a way. And you're frustrated because you see yourself sabotage yourself. Stop analyzing why and just commit to changing it. Does that make sense? Action is what's going to get you results, not thinking about it. I don't care why you overate. Just say you're going to change it from this point forward. And don't think I'm going to do this for the next 30 days. I'm going to do this for the next 4 months, 6 months from now. If I just do this, I'm going to be there. I don't want you to even think about where you're going to be. I just want you to make tomorrow a great day. I just want you to say, tomorrow I'm going to have 3 meals. And I'm really good. I'm going to plate a portion and put it away. I'm going to try that. I'm actually going to start prioritizing myself, and I'm going to let my family know right now. And I'm going to create a plan for myself for when I go and travel, if I'm traveling, or when family's coming in and they're going to be here. And instead of doing what I do where I put myself last and I make sure that I'm readily available for everybody, and I overwhelm myself with to-dos, and I make sure that I've cooked for everybody, and I'm so exhausted, and then, you know, they don't want to go here, so then I miss my workouts, and I'm worried about this, and I want to spend time with my family, and I don't want to not be there. Give yourself the grace of the 1 hour or 30 minutes that you're going to take for yourself to get aligned with the morning practice, or with meditation, or going for a walk, or doing your workout, or all of the above. But get clear on where you're creating excuses for why you can't and why you're not able, because they're excuses. I always say, the only excuses that exist are the ones that we allow. And the only limitations that exist are the ones that we create. You can have anything you want, girl. You can create an experience you want. That's the magic of life. I learned that, and I thought, well, Jesus, why didn't somebody teach this in school when I was 10, 12, 7, 5, and tell me that I'm a co-creator in this life? That life isn't leading me, I'm leading it. I don't know why they don't teach this in school, but once I learned it and the law of attraction, I was like, well, this is pure magic. I can think something and it becomes a reality, both good or bad. Well, I got to stop thinking bad thoughts. So do you. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes, it's that easy. And watch your mind if you're sitting there going, well, why would I create all these bad things? You didn't create bad things. You attracted them in because you only allowed yourself to see what you feel is possible for you, which might not be very much. You might say you want weight loss, but you might not believe it's possible. You might say you want love, but you might not believe it's possible. You might say you want a new job, but you might not believe it's possible. Or you might not be acting in alignment with that, just talking about it a lot, or even complaining about the lack of it, which actually pushes it further away. Okay? So plan, prioritize, plate, portion, put it away. We shift our view by taking action and getting out of over-analysis. Analyzing, right? Over-analysis goes into self-paralysis. It's just going to keep you from what it is that you want, because you're obsessing over the lack thereof it. You're obsessing over the fact that you're actually not who you want to be or where you want to be. Right? You're obsessing over the fact that your weight isn't where you want it to be. You're obsessing over the fact of overeating, which is going to attract in more overeating. We don't want to do that. Right? You don't want to do that. We want to give ourselves control. How do we regain control? By shifting here, by getting in alignment, and by taking action. Right? So now we want to remove self-sabotage, which is our next point. So what I want you to understand is really recognize where you get in your own way and sabotage yourself. Now, when I say this isn't to make yourself wrong or feel bad, but often I will talk to many women and they'll go, I don't know what's going on. I honestly, like, something's wrong with my body. They assume their hormones and other things and all of these things. And then I go, well, what are you doing to get in your own way? And they go, I don't understand the question. And I go, well, in the last 7 days, in what ways have you sabotaged your weight loss? You know what you need to do to actually lose weight: go to bed on time, drink more water, eat less and move more. Eat portions, eat till you're full, eat when you're hungry, make smart choices, move your body. This isn't rocket science, right? We all know this, but the perfectionist loves to overcomplicate it. Right? And the more you've dieted, the more you overcomplicate things, because at this point in time, you've tried every diet. So your mind has more knowledge than you even know what to do with it. You're sitting there wondering if you should be paleo or go keto, or if you should be in intermittent fasting, and when you should eat, and are you even hungry? You don't even know what hunger looks like. Should you eat meat? Should you eat a high-fat diet? Should it be a low-fat diet? Should you have protein? Do you even like protein? What is protein for you? Maybe it's plant protein. You heard vegan's the best way to go. There's so much knowledge. that your mind is spinning, which is why you overanalyze yourself to death and have now thought that everything under the sun is wrong with you and that you're broken in some way and can't seem to get this right and something's wrong with you and your hormones and cortisol and all the things. Here's the thing. When we actually start believing that we can lose weight and we start visualizing ourselves losing weight and we tell ourselves kind, loving thoughts and we start actually moving our body and getting cardiovascular health and get our heart rate up on a daily basis to level out our moods, to give us energy and for our health, we naturally will balance our hormones, even out our cortisol, right? Have better moods, sleep more soundly, right? Desire more water, which will aid in getting honestly, having our bodies comprised of water, right? So it's like 70% water. So oftentimes we're eating when we're actually thirsty. So all of these things, and the more water that we'll need from our daily movement will cause us to cleanse our bodies naturally and detox without needing to spend all this money on all of these cleanses and juices and different things. And then our bowels will be better and everything will feel better. It's a simple, simple thing. We eat clean, right? Everything that I teach. Now, I understand we all know this, but the dieter, and especially if you've been dieted a long time, loves to overcomplicate and make things really crazy. Well, what does overcomplicating things do? That we overcomplicate, we set our goals and our expectations too high that we never meet them, and then we're never actually celebrating anything we do. So we're negative with ourselves, which means we're constantly in a space of driving ourselves to overeat. So these are things that we want to do. We want to remove self-sabotage. So 1, you want to set yourself up for success. 2, you want to be present to life. Instead of future tripping or living in the past or thinking about what you did yesterday or even the last meal that you ate, as many of you are doing right now, thinking about what you did today, what you didn't do, what you should do tomorrow, what you did last week, all these months that you haven't, all of these things. I want you to be present right now. Practice presence. There's something that I teach all of my clients and in my group programs about a breath sequence of 5 in, hold it for 5 and out for 5. I just did an Instagram story and post on this as well. If you follow me on Instagram at Melissa Kathryn, and we go in, and why do we do that? We do that to bring ourselves back to presence, to calm our central nervous system and to get out of our conscious mind and into the subconscious so we actually can understand what's going on for ourselves. In that state, you can remove self-sabotage. So understand what obstacles you're placing in your way that are actually causing you to overeat. Are you not getting enough sleep? Are you talking negatively to yourself? Are you not eating all day and then coming home starving? Are you eating all of your calories at night? Are you eating late into the night? Are you over drinking? Are you overeating at each meal? Are you grazing all day? Are you not plating it, portioning and putting it away? Are you not meal prepping? Write down and then write an arrow across from each one. What is the action step that you can take to counter that? And do it. Don't just write it down, but do it. Now, I have a question for you. If you were at your goal weight right now, if you were at your goal weight and you felt amazing and you're sitting there on this webinar right now in a tight fitted pair of pants and you can feel your waist and you can feel your body in your pants and you're in a fitted shirt, are you going to sit and overeat or are you going to want to go out and be seen? Are you going to go into the holidays with your family and pile your plate high or go for 3 portions or eat all day and stay inside? Or are you going to want to be out and be seen? Or are you going to want to get dressed up and feel sexy and light in your body and have a flat belly? Are you going to go and do a workout in the morning so that you can stay connected? How would you act? Write down right now, how would you act? What would be different? Because that right there is the energy and the action of how you want to be this holiday. Take time right now. Write down this question. because this might be a long one for you. And what I want you to do is take time with it. I don't want you to put it off. Please, when we end this webinar, complete it, right? Because it's going to support you, because you're actually going to write a detailed description of the woman that you really want to be, the way of being you want to honor and embody this holiday season. If you were at your goal weight right now, would you sabotage yourself with food? Would you overeat? Because you would love your life and the way that you feel and love being in your body. So you wouldn't want to hurt your body. Who is that woman? What are her ways of being? What would you do? What would you wear? Where would you go? How would you act? Because the woman that's at your ideal weight, she embodies a healthy lifestyle, which means she drinks her water. She would get up and go for a workout. She would plan an activity with her family. She would have healthy foods made to support her feeling good and her dietary preferences. She would have an outfit out that makes her feel beautiful and not hide herself in large clothes or not getting something that makes her feel pretty because she's unhappy anyway with who she is. Which means generally, ladies, when you do that and you don't get yourself dressed and you're not doing your hair or doing your makeup or putting on something nice for yourself, you're basically saying, I'm unworthy of looking good until I get to a certain weight. What does that force you to do and move you to? Think about it. If you're telling yourself you're unworthy of looking good or feeling good, of course you're going to go eat. Recognize the energy behind the actions that you do and don't do. Recognize the actual statements that you're telling yourself and energetically what you're experiencing. Okay? Act as the woman you aspire to be, the woman underneath years of dieting and struggle. Act as the woman you aspire to be, the woman underneath years of dieting and struggle. Now, here's the other thing. The very last piece to this, and I'm going to go through because I know I want to be conscious of time for you. Curing cravings. There's simple techniques and tips, and I love to give tactical tips. We cure cravings, one, by getting enough sleep. Not getting enough sleep will spike your cravings. And if you don't get enough sleep and your cravings are spiked, then you want to start off your morning with protein. You want to not have a donut, not have coffee, not have oatmeal, not have fruit. You want to go and have, and not even a protein shake. I want you to go and have eggs. I want you to have, honestly, almost dinner for breakfast. Have protein. It's going to stave off cravings. It's going to help to keep you full, and it's going to keep your mindset focused. What else? I want you to stay hydrated. We cure cravings with water. Put a little lemon in there, or mint leaves, or my favorite detox water, which is slices of freshly peeled cucumber, 2 tablespoons of freshly grated ginger, 2 medium-sized, thinly sliced organic lemons, right? I put all of that into, and one I just made today, added a little grapefruit juice from fresh grapefruit. That water is going to help you to detox and cleanse. So we curb cravings, cure cravings through hydration. Add a little lemon. Again, it detoxes the body. It cleanses your palate, right? And it's going to stave off cravings. How else do we cure cravings? Through movement. When in doubt, when you're experiencing cravings, start jumping up and down, put on music and dance, jump on a mini trampoline. I have my jump sport. Get into your body. Don't sit on the sofa and stay in a lethargic space. It will only cause your mind to continue fixating on the very thing you keep telling yourself not to have. The subconscious mind does not understand the words no or not and will drive you directly to food. What else? Control your mind with your thoughts. Don't use words no or not. Tell yourself and ask yourself, what is it I need in this moment? There are 4 questions that I always teach. Am I really hungry right now? What's going on in my life right now? Is food going to solve the problem? And what can I do instead? And right there, right in that moment, if you notice that you're starting to think again, I want you to hop up on your feet, jump up and down for at least a minute, and you will not want the food anymore. It takes 3 minutes for a craving to pass, 30 seconds at a minimum. Okay? Now, the other one is, the other way to curb your cravings is to stop snacking. The minute you start snacking, you continue snacking throughout the day. It opens a floodgate. Instead, tell yourself you have 3 meals and you eat at mealtime. Make that your new normal. And trust me, you're not going to starve. I promise. And as I said before, you want to get your sleep. Now, here's the thing. We went through a ton in this webinar. We identified your triggers in your lifestyle with foods, in everything that you do, and in people. You receive tips to stay slim and to slim down instead of adding on, right? Plan, prioritize, plate it, portion it, and put it away. We went through how to shift your view, how to actually get out of self-analyzation and into action. We went through removing self-sabotage and actually went through a step-by-step process to do so. And we went through exact tools, tips, and tactical things that you can do right now to curb your cravings. I also love a good cup of tea, mint spray, any mint essential oils, lemon water, any and all of those things, and adding cinnamon sticks, the actual sticks to your water, will help to curb your cravings. So these are amazing things to really, really support you in overcoming overeating, how to not overeat this holiday season. Now, here's the thing. I want to thank you so much for being with me. I hope that you found this tremendously, tremendously helpful. I'd love to hear from you in the Done With Dieting group. Tell me what spoke to you. Tell me what was the most helpful tip. And also let me know any questions that you have. Like I said, we have an incredible other webinar next week called How to Let Go, Live More, and Have More Joy this holiday season. So you will be getting a link to register for that as well. We also have a Healthy Holiday Challenge that is starting for you on Monday. 14 days to be your healthiest and happiest this holiday season. And we have an awesome prize for the winner where you get a 1-hour weight loss breakthrough and planning session with me to support you in the new year at $1,000 value. So that is actually how much I cost per hour. And the winner of the Healthy Holiday Challenge gets that with me for free. So you want to make sure to register for that. On another note, what we also have is an amazing gift for you tonight. So since you were registered for this, you're going to get a link in your email. We have weight loss breakthrough, overcoming overeating sessions with our Weight Loss for Life coaches that are on hand right now and ready to support you. We only have a limited number of spots because they are really inundated as we are doors are open for our Weight Loss for Life program, and we had a tremendous response for that. So it's a little overwhelming with the number of people that are interested in joining that program and have applied. So please, this link is for those of you that really want support in overcoming overeating and are wanting exact action steps to take and support this holiday season. You will be sent a link with a replay. You will also be sent a link to get that call with the Weight Loss for Life coach to support you in that. So please, by all means, use it. Here's the deal. If you come to a coaching session, don't miss it. Okay, so this is not one of those sign up for a freebie that I don't show up for because it's not a big deal. We take it very seriously. My team takes it very seriously. I take it very seriously when I have calls. I don't take them lightly. I take them on as clients, right? So I want you to understand that. 2, come with your questions and come with the goal. And that is what you will do in that 30-minute coaching session with our coach. They will give you action steps and will guide you and will share with you more about how and what ways you can get exact support from us and our team. So you will get a link to the replay. You will also get that gift from us to support you this holiday season. I am really, really committed to you having your healthiest, happiest holiday season yet, to overcome overeating and to really just feeling good in your body and to reaching your body and weight loss goals now. Okay, so it's not about putting it off any longer. I, again, really hope that you enjoyed this webinar, and I hope to see you at the next one, how to let go, how to live more, and to have the most joyous holiday season yet. Thank you so much for being with me tonight, and I will see you in the Done with Dieting group. Please let me know what spoke to you and what was your biggest aha from tonight's webinar. Thank you. Love you guys. Love you, Linda. Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Connie. And Lynn, thank you so much as well.
Hey, I'm Melissa Kathryn, and welcome to my channel. If you're new to me, then join me each week for videos to support you in weight loss, mastering your mindset, and overall wellness to help you to truly thrive in life in a body that you love, believing and knowing that you are more than enough, and to support you in having all of your dreams and your desires now. So stay tuned.